And what is the group that you oversee now?
Well, the Wabash and Erie Canal Association, that did start in 1971, puts it back a generation before me. So my mother was very involved in the beginning of the Canal Association. It was the first president, and they saw the opportunity to do something with our historic resource that was here wasting away, and yet the majority of the community of Delphi and many other canal towns along the Wabash and Erie Canal didn't like the canal.
So your mother had a different idea.
Well, she was a school teacher, and maybe she saw it more from environmental and educational benefits. It had a lot of history that otherwise wasn't being discovered much in Delphi. There were a lot of things that we could credit in Delphi as the beginning of a major, might say, metropolitan area of its day. Delphi was really a bustling community, but in fact, now today we're about the same population as we were at the end of the canal period.
What did your mother do?
Well, she got involved with some of her friends, those about a dozen people that would have a caring for the historic structure of the canal, the fact that it came through Delphi, and they would basically stake their reputation on the fact that this is something we really ought to develop as a resource, as an educational resource, as a recreational resource. But most of the community would tell her, or the other people on the board, you're wasting your time. You're never going to make anything out of this. It's going to cost too much. Just forget it. But they wouldn't forget it. They organized, and it took many years before things really began to happen. They had no money at the beginning. They just had a will to do something. In fact, sometimes when I'd come home from my work, I was far away. I was in Fort Wayne for most of those years. I'd ask her, how are you getting along with the Canal Association? What are you getting done? Oh, we've got lots of plans. We're working on land rights. We're doing things to try to develop a better understanding in the community of the significance of the canal. But the biggest decision we made at the last board meeting is whether we could afford to buy a roll of stamps. Now, you like
A land purchase by the city of Delphi sparks an Indiana State Police investigation.
News 18 Samantha Tiki joins us now with a look at why that land deal is causing so much controversy. Sam?
It's an area the size of 3 city lots in the heart of Delphi. At the last meeting of the Delphi City Council, the city proposed the purchase of the property. It was revealed at that same meeting the property had already been purchased before the council's approval. However, a deeper look into the documents led to an investigation of the sale by the Indiana State Police.
Something doesn't feel right. Something doesn't look right with this situation.
Republican candidate for Delphi City Council Dale Seward says something seemed a little too familiar about the city of Delphi's proposal to buy land during the August meeting of the city council.
It's important for the citizens to know that they can trust their city government and that their taxpayer money is being spent wisely.
Seward says he knew the city council hadn't approved the purchase prior to the sale and says that's when he spoke up.
You're supposed to get city council approval to make purchases, and to already have it warranty deeded prior to even notifying the city council of it is, in my opinion, improper.
Delphi City Council President Dick Traeger says the council was aware of the purchase because it was part of the Stellar project and says the land was designated for a portion of the interurban trail. However, he says the council did not know when the land purchase was going to be finalized.
The purchase was passed, but it wasn't consummated because when this came up, it was suspended. The money was not paid until we found out what the legalities were.
The deed to purchase this land shows it was prepared by Delphi City Attorney Brock Dawson. But according to Seward, Dawson says he has no recollection of preparing the document.
Dawson denied knowledge of the transaction, said that he didn't prepare a document, he didn't have anything to do with it, and didn't know what it was either.
Seward says the day after the meeting he got a copy of the deed from the Carroll County Recorder. Though there had not been a vote by Delphi City Council, the deed dated July 30th shows the land sale from the Delphi Youth Baseball League to the city of Delphi for $7,100. In a phone call to News 18, Dawson says he did not prepare the deed and had no knowledge of the sale.
I have no idea who that individual was that said they signed for the city of Delphi.
The Monon High Bridge, which is part of the Monon Trail, was built in 1891 by the Monon Railroad. Although people often walk over the bridge to view the Deer Creek just down below, one Deer Creek Township board member, David McCain, says the bridge has never officially been developed into a pedestrian walkway.
Well, the community, of course, would like to have the trail finished, you know. It has to be fixed and stabilized. It's in a critical condition.
Delphi residents say this Monon Bridge is an important gem in the history of their community, and they are asking for the city's help to restore this historic walkway.
It's a very long bridge. It is in very good shape except for this one pier.
McCain says the bridge is 850 feet long, and it is the third longest railroad bridge in Indiana. The bridge is deteriorating, which makes it dangerous to walk on. In order to fix it, the entire project will cost around $300,000.
The community came together to support getting a grant from Indiana DNR that would allow for the decking and railing of the bridge for pedestrian use.
McCain was involved in helping to write the grant to the state's Department of Natural Resources, and the Deer Creek Township was approved the maximum amount of $150,000 toward making improvements. They also received $37,000 from the township, but that doesn't cover the bill. Before these changes can be made, the first pier must be repaired, which would cost around an additional $100,000.
We don't want the bridge to fail and collapse. We want to be able to fix it.
The bridge is owned by CSX, and before any repairs can be made, it must be approved by the owner. After negotiating for more than 2 years, CSX has agreed to donate the bridge and $37,000 for the project to a nonprofit organization willing to take the responsibility. But before repairs to the recreational trails project begins, the bridge must find a new rightful owner.
I'll never understand. I used to be quite critical, but now I find I'm cynical. A lady with a starving baby miles away from me. No problems there, just life and death, and what the hell is wrong with me? Everybody else. No questions asked, just get receipts and write them off. Expenses, taxes are a bitch these days. Yet the lady and the baby starve while waiting for a contribution in a UNICEF box in a drugstore in this ugly little town. The things I do for money, I'll never understand. The world is just a marble in the palm of my hand. The palm of my hand. The palm of my hand. The things I do for money, I'll never understand. The world is just a marble in the palm of my hand. Things I waste my time on, I'll never understand. I used to be quite practical, but now I find I'm tactical. I scrape and scheme and struggle hard to get myself ahead. Have no concern for anyone but me. things I do for money, I'll never understand. The world is just a marble in the palm of my hand. 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 Things I do for money, I'll never understand. The world is just a marble in the palm of my hand.
We also believe this person is from Delphi, currently or has previously lived here, visits Delphi on a regular basis. We believe you are hiding in plain sight.
On the Banks of Deer Creek by James Whitcomb Riley, 1849. On the banks of Deer Creek, there's a place for me. Water sliding past you just as clear as it can be. See the shadder in it, and the shadder of the sky, and the shadder of the buzzard as he goes a-lazing by. Shadder of the pizen vines, and shadder of the trees, and I pert and I said the shadder of the sunshine and the breeze. Well, I never seen the ocean, or I never seen the sea. On the banks of old Deer Creek's grand enough for me.
We know that this is about power to you. We believe this person is currently between the age range of 18 and 40, but might appear younger than his true age.
Could it have been the breaking up of a relationship? Could it have been someone asking for a divorce? A girlfriend saying, hey, I've had enough?
We believe you are hiding in plain sight.
I've heard from a number of community members things like take back the trails. We don't want to be not using them and be too afraid and so forth.
David McCain works on these trails. He says they're working on making this area safer for everyone.
I honestly think there'll be healing with this, and I appreciate that.
The thing I'm focused on is why hasn't some family member or somebody that knows him turned him in? And I have to believe that whoever the family member is that knows or thinks they know and hasn't turned him in is in denial. And they're in denial and they want to protect him and the rest of the family. Because, you know, there's major ramifications that take place here if a family member turns them in. First of all, he might turn on them and kill them. Number two, it could kill the whole family for that matter. We've seen this, okay? So it's not out of the question. The other thing is the shame involved. Can you imagine if you live anywhere near the area and, you know, you have children and, you know, your husband is the killer, you know, of Abby Williams and Libby German? I mean, my God.